One, two, three. Here we go. I've been sitting here obsessed with this Brian Laundrie situation, and I am appalled by some things I've seen. Apparently people don't know we have rights as American citizens. That's all I got to say. Well, that's not all I got to say. I did a video on Mr. Grady Judd earlier. Sheriff Grady Judd, Polk County, Florida. I used to live in Polk County. But, man, I don't know where to begin. I guess some people don't realize, first off, let's start off with Mr. Brian Laundrie. Mr. Brian Laundrie is not a suspect in the murder of Gabby Petito. He is a person of interest. Not even a suspect. Not even on the FBI's most wanted list. Just saying. We'll just put that out there. Just keep that fact in mind. There's so many people that are closed-minded, fueled by emotion, by the mainstream media, that's all you see. These sheeple. They're ready. Who is the real monster here? There's a lot of people that really want to do some horrible things to this man and that family. And these protesters ain't helping none either outside the house. Ralliers, protesters, whatever you want to call them. If you want justice for Gabby, y'all are going about it the wrong way. Blaming the police, blaming this person, that person, pointing the finger over here. Let's talk about the dog. I love the dog, man. I love the dog. I started watching him back when I first got him on A&E. And I watched him a lot. But honestly, guys, I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. The dog is searching for a new reality TV series. He is. I mean, I'm not saying that was his sole intention in this, but I mean, it does get him some publicity. Dog, if you hear this, I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying that may have played a factor in this situation, as well as John Walsh, because John Walsh's ratings have been going down with his new show he has. I think he's in the third season, maybe, and he's hunting for a new show as well. I'm not saying that's their sole reason. I'm just saying you got to take that into consideration here a little bit. And if you want justice for Gabby, you want to find the man that did this to her. You want to. So to sit here and only point the finger and have tunnel vision at only Brian Laundrie and no one else, and go, okay, there could have been multiple scenarios that played out in this situation. And it doesn't mean Brian Laundrie did anything. He messed up a few times. He's tripped up a little bit. But doesn't mean he's the one that done this to Gabby. Honestly, guys, for real. I've seen so many, the first 48. If y'all watch that show, please. If you watch Joe Kenda, how many times have we seen them have a suspect and be like, this is the guy. We got him. No. And you swear up and down that's who they got. They got the right guy. And come to find out, it's not the guy. Something, happens, some evidence comes out, but everything lines up, and it looks like, dude, I swear it's this dude right here. I swear, this is the dude that did it, or this is the chick that did it. They swear up and down. Then come to find out, nope, wasn't that dude. And come to find out it was somebody else that made better sense when it all falls back into place. We've seen this. How many times are we going to see dudes get out of prison 30 years later after DNA has cleared them and the Innocence Project and all that did not commit a crime? They swear up and down committed that crime and was guilty of that crime back 30 years ago. We don't want to see this happen in this case. We don't want to see this happen in any case where an innocent man goes to jail. But in the court of public opinion, the public has tried, convicted, ready to execute this dude. That Brian Laundrie, man. Oh my God. Let's like, first off, and one of the things I keep getting around, he's running He's running from the law. Okay. How is he running if he left home, went off grid with no phone? Okay. Before the warrant was released, before the body was found. So how is he running, and what is he running from? I'll reiterate the timeline. Brian returns to Florida with the van without Gabby. Brian, for like 10, 11 days. There was multiple instances where they tried to report Gabby missing, but due to Florida state law, there were some issues. Okay? Finally, on September 11th, Gabby's reported missing officially. September the 14th, Mr. Brian Laundrie leaves home without his wallet and his phone. Less than 72 hours later, after Gabby's reported missing, less than 72 hours. Okay. A few days later, the body's discovered. So now, Brian's already left home without his phone, without his wallet. Body is discovered. He's off the grid, which he has bragged about doing this before, going in the Appalachian Mountain for 3 months and eating cheese crackers and going off grid for extended amounts of time. So it's not out of character for him. Does that. Gabby's body is discovered. Next day, the credit card warrant is released. He's still off in the woods with no phone, no motor car, not a single luxury, like Robinson Crusoe. But anyways, so how is a man in the woods with no phone, woods, wherever he's at, no phone, no nothing, off the grid, how does he know he has a warrant for his arrest? For all we know, he doesn't even know that Gabby is dead. He thinks just him and Gabby are broke up. That's speculation on my part. I'm just saying, what if? So how is he running? What is he running from? He doesn't know about the warrant. He doesn't know he's a fugitive. He doesn't know this. If he left home without a phone, without some way of contacting somebody. I'm just saying, if you're going to speculate he has a burner phone and he knows all this stuff, if you're going to speculate and draw those conclusions, you got to go on the opposite side and go, okay, wait, let me look at it from this point of view. Because I guarantee you cops ain't sitting in the thing assuming everything that everybody on Twitter and Facebook is assuming. You can't assume. You have to look at this thing from different angles. I'm not saying he did or didn't do it. I'm just saying we can't convict a man based on nothing. He's a person of interest. You can't base it on, you don't have to talk to the cops. If the cops came here asking me about a murder, you think I'm going to talk? I'm going to lawyer up. And you should too. That's what the whole Shut the Fuck Up Friday thing is about. Shut the fuck up. And the court of public opinion is airing the dirty laundry out, buddy. They coasting them. But in legal terms, these folks got it secured. Man, there's just so many. It's so exponentially huge. The things I want, just like, and they want to say the cops were supposed to do something to Brian Laundrie in the days after the 72 hours from the time Gabby was reported missing, and then Brian went missing. So, what was the cop supposed to do? I mean, I hear this everywhere. They should have put him in custody. For what? For what? What? At that time, no warrant was issued. The body hadn't been discovered. For what? You can't just take a man into custody because you think he did something wrong. That's not how the American justice system works. That's constitutional rights. That's your civil rights. And they're not going to come grab you and do that. If you lawyer up, be like, I ain't answering your questions. Unless they have some sort of evidence or some sort of probable cause that you had done something wrong, they can't do nothing to you. No matter who you are, no matter what, they could have thought you murdered 100 people, and they can't do nothing because they think you did it. I mean, this whole situation is sketchy, and I understand that. And in the end, he may wind up guilty and convicted. But I can't say that because even the judicial system is even saying, hey, we don't have no evidence of this. We just need to talk to him to figure out what the fuck happened. I don't understand why this doesn't make sense. I don't understand where the critical thinking is in this country. And constantly just dogging this situation out. It's horrendous. You want to strip a man of his rights just because you think he is guilty. But you have rights, I have rights, Brian Laundrie still has rights, his family has rights. And you want justice for Gabby, but you want to find the person that did this. You don't want to accuse an innocent man. I can think of several scenarios where he possibly could be innocent. And you think of the scenarios of how he's guilty. What if the Moab police stop at the second body cam footage pretty much says he was locking her outside the vehicle, was going to tell her, to chill out, and everybody's like, she's afraid he was going to leave her home, take her home and leave. What if that scenario happened in them woods, right? Brian says, I'm gonna pull off and let her chill for a minute. And he pulls off for a minute, right? And he says, I'm coming right back. And, I'll come right back. And turns right back around and she's gone. What if Mr. Serial Killer showed up right behind him after he pulled off and sees old Gabby in the road and decides, oh, here's my next victim. What if? And Brian turns around, comes back, and she's missing. He can't find her. Let's say he doesn't find her, and he can't. You're right. He should have called and reported her missing, but he didn't. He went home instead. Poor choices. Furthermore, what if it was an accident? What if they're frolicking out in the wilderness and you seen how rocky it was, and another YouTuber had said, oh, you couldn't even rock, you'd fall down. What if they're out frolicking as lovers and she falls and hits her head, and that's how her life has been ended? Let's say that happened. He's not guilty of murder. He's guilty of not reporting crap. I mean, there's several scenarios that plays into this. If you actually committed a murder, would you go 1,000 miles the other side of the country back home? I mean, seriously, what does that say? What sense is that? I'm just concerned with all these people that think you can just take somebody's rights and be like, okay, you're guilty, and with no evidence whatsoever. And they can't look outside the situation and go, okay. And the main thing I'm having a problem running on is people's opinions and speculations and conjectures that are being spouted as fact. And I'm like, what? And I speculated. I'll tell you where I speculated. I speculated about how he could be innocent. I've speculated about whether or not he has a phone on him at this point. That is speculation. To say they have evidence, I guarantee you, if they had evidence on this motherfucker, they would have issued a warrant. I had somebody earlier tell me they would hide the evidence and issue a warrant or something to that extent. I'm like, they can't hide evidence, okay? They have to tell you what evidence they have, to get the warrant. And that would be in the warrant. But anyways, but that's beside the point. This is getting horrific. I'm not saying the man didn't do it. I'm not saying he did do it. I'm saying we don't know nothing yet. And to try and convict a man already without no evidence is insane. This is not communist China. That's not how any of this works. Ugh. I mean, if anybody listening knows me and knows my channel, I'm about the American. I hate cops. I hate them. And that they're usually the first one to erode your rights away. But in this situation, the Northport police, I mean, there's nothing they could have done. You're innocent until proven guilty. You can't think somebody did something wrong and take them to jail just because you think that. That's not just because it's not illegal to be stupid. It's not illegal to be dumb. It's not illegal to be an asshole. So that if I want to rant some more, you may hear more ranting from me. But the truth of the matter is, he is not a suspect. He is a person of interest. We don't know if he knows he's wanted or not wanted. There's a lot of X Factor Joker cards still flying around this situation. That could change a lot. I want to do a video on this guy. They keep accusing this Twitter of being Brian Laundrie's secret Twitter. I'm not gonna. I don't think it's him. I'm just saying. I've looked into it, and there's no basis for that. The interview room really messed that one up. And if Brian Laundrie did have a secret Twitter or a secret social media, don't go blasting it out to everybody. You don't want to tip him off. If you want justice for Gabby and think he did it, that's the last thing you want to do. Well, I'm going to sign off here, guys. America's the greatest country on earth. Y'all have a good one.